Over the years, I've examined all the arguments, I guess you could say, for and against Joseph Smith, particularly, of course, the first vision. It's so fundamental to Mormonism, so fundamental. I mean, this was Joseph Smith's initial experience, so he claimed. And if someone can find holes in that or gaps or discrepancies, they're going to say, okay, see, this really didn't happen. This is a figment of Joseph Smith's imagination, or he's trying to deceive us. And I've looked at everything, and that just does not hold up. I think we can honestly say, in my own interpretation of Joseph Smith, that he was a truthful person, and that God, he's trying to share what, as best he can, the powerful experiences that he has received. This sacred experience of the first vision was very difficult for him to encapsulate. And yet what we have is just so incredibly dynamic and beautiful. It teaches us so much about the reality of God and His Son and the purpose and nature of the restoration. So ultimately, people will just have to come to grips with that in their own time and in their own way. As with any kind of experience in the church, or perhaps a doctrine or a teaching or a particular program of the church or a policy, we have to weigh things. And yet I think it all comes down to, do we believe in the spirit and power of revelation? Did God indeed reveal what He said, what Joseph Smith said He revealed to him in terms of the first vision, or in any other doctrinal teaching or principle? A person has to come to grips with, okay, did this indeed happen? Is this revelation indeed true? Again, it's not bad to question. It's not bad to have doubts. At the same time, we need to rely upon our own judgment and intellect and spirit to direct us, to help us to understand those things and help us to resolve those in our own minds. I'm certainly energized by what Joseph Smith has said and taught and believed and said he experienced. And I have felt a very powerful spiritual confirmation that what he said, what he revealed, what he taught was indeed from the divine. And again, I still have questions. I don't have all the answers. We don't have the answers, all the answers. But what we do have, I know to be true. And I think individuals who will sincerely examine these things and weigh very carefully, that's nothing wrong with that, these issues and these things that may be in some people's minds a discrepancy or a concern. God can help you. God can help reveal and help us to understand something where we can overcome some sort of an issue that may be problematic or causing us some sort of concern. It's all worth it. There's no question about it. We're all progressing. We're all in the process of spiritual development and understanding. And it may not happen in this month or next year, but over the course of a lifetime, if one stays true to their convictions and follows the spirit of revelation, they will be, certainly these elements will be confirmed in their lives. I think it's so interesting that many of the early saints, particularly in the 1830s, not until really 1842, were actually aware in specific detail of Joseph Smith's first vision. Again, it was not actually printed until 1842. I think most Latter-day Saints actually knew and understood Joseph had communed with deity, God the Father and His Son Jesus Christ, but with the exceptions of maybe some of his closest associates, family members, and a few of these individuals that from time to time he would maybe share his early experience, for the most part, most Latter-day Saints did not know the details regarding the beginnings of his spiritual quest. And I think for individuals such as us today, we ought to be extremely grateful. We have these accounts. We can weigh them. We can examine them. We can test them. We can receive our own spiritual confirmation as to their truthfulness. Those early saints probably did not have that same kind of opportunity. I think the first vision is so fundamental to Mormonism. It really is the defining moment in Joseph Smith's life. It's his greatest experience, no question about it. Everything after that is truly marvelous, but how do you top a vision of the Father and the Son? And everything from that point on really defines Joseph Smith as to who he is and his motive. And that was to tell others eventually, or to bear his testimony that God indeed has spoken. He spoke to me. I was young. But from that experience, of course, will come a great prophet, one of the greatest of all time. And I think, of course, we can subscribe to John Taylor's beautiful account in D&C section 135 that Joseph Smith has done more, save Jesus only, for the salvation of men than any other man who has ever lived in it. It all began with the first vision.